This is Grandthumb Farms here on Rustic Roots. I welcome you to this short story, a tale of family, choices, and the journey between two very different paths. I've reached an exciting point in my life, one where I want my family to benefit from my good fortune. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce you to my twin nephews, Colt and Marlin, who have jumped on board to help me in this endeavor. Let me set the stage. We're in a small community, and I've given each of them some land and the opportunity to profit from whatever they choose to produce. But here's the twist. Though I've imposed no restrictions on their choices, they didn't have the opportunity to collaborate before making their decisions. You see, even though they're twins, they couldn't be more different. Colt, the elder by 22 minutes, has a taste for the finer things in life. In contrast, Marlin tends to lean toward more practical decisions. I've explained to them that they'll profit from everything they produce on their farms. However, there is one condition. They must repay any money I've loaned them to get started, which includes their homesteads, equipment, and initial livestock. I hope you join me as we dive into what I hope to make an interesting new series here on Rustic Roots, Fancy versus Frugal. Let's see which path leads to success and what lessons await us along the way. Well, I got the script part taken care of, kind of explaining what this is going to be all about. So now I get to kind of fumble through and talk about more of the details. I've only once played on a map that was wide open like this. I'm kind of looking forward to it. There's not much in town. There's a warehouse, an animal dealer, a farmer's market, and that's pretty much it. Colt has decided that he wants to do cheese, fancy cheeses. So he's got this little cheese maker. What's a cheese maker called? I don't know. And I'm not very good at walking through doors. Something with milk. He's going to raise milk cows and goats. And there's lots of different options in the special dairy. Cows and goats. And I was going to do fermented grapes, but since I'm doing grapes on another map, I decided that he was going to do, or he decided he was going to do olive oil. So there's an oil mill here. He's going to need straw for the cows to make the TMR, so he's got a flour mill for production for the wheat or barley or whatever he decides. And Marlin has decided that he's going to raise pigs and beef cattle for the meat company, the Colt and Marlin Meat Company. And additionally, he'll have an orchard. He's going to start off with plum and apricot jam, I believe. That's what this production is here. I've got a telehandler, a flatbed, and Iceria Pro available for the boys to use. I say boys. Oh, Iceria Scout. The town's not big enough to have somebody come out and survey it, so they gotta send it in via the Scout. once their homesteads are built out, I'll be able to distribute the money to them. Right now, if you were to look at their money, it's all kind of willy-nilly, but once I get everything built out, I can distribute it in such a way that reflects how they want to spend it. And this is where their homesteads are going to be. They've each got 2 plots of land to build on. Colt's got a little more area to work with, but he has a lot of grass work to do. So he's going to have a goat pen, a cow barn, and an olive grove. Marlin's going to have a pigsty, an orchard, a couple of greenhouses. Originally, my plan was to run just the meat market and have the guys each pick a meat and try to figure out who could repay the loan back more easily. But I was running into a lot of problems. There was going to have to be a lot of logistics behind whether they were going to make money off the animals or the byproducts of the animals, the actual processed meat. So I figured I would split it up a little bit differently. In today's episode, I'm going to try to get at least the buildings put in, and maybe start purchasing equipment. And then once this introduction episode's over, then I'll run 2-day months and either have 1 day each for the guys, and there'll be an episode for Fancy and then an episode for Frugal, unless the weather's going to be terrible, and I might do a half a day each for them. We'll kind of have to play it by ear. But it will essentially be 2 different series, but their farms will be right next to each other. So that's the plan, and I'm going to see if I can lay out these homesteads, and we'll go from there. Well, I got the basics of each farm built out. Of course, Colt, being fancy and all, had a lot more of shaping the earth. It took a little longer than I thought it was gonna. But we'll take a kind of a peek at each farm while I plot out some basic roads, but I want to let them kind of show you what it's all about instead of letting me do it all. And they may change up these roads that I kind of put in, but that's fine. I'm just going to do the basics. So this is where, well, no, I'm not going to tell you everything. I'm going to let you know what's going on. But you can probably figure out this field here is owned in the caddy corner, this other field. My hope is I don't mess up the series by accidentally starting out on a single player mode, as I believe that if I do and save the game, I may mess everything up. So I have to be really careful about how I do that. So anyway, this side over here is Colt's, my fancy nephew, and I'm going to put some roads in for him. All right, now I'm just roughing these roads in. They may change them all up for all I know. This is the sheep barn, the cow barn. I say sheep, it's goats. I think, yeah, goats, because it's milk. A couple of driveways to get to the other piece of property, and I'm sure he'll expand whatever sheds or driveways that need to be expanded. So that's Colt's basic setup, and now I need to figure out how Marlin's is going to go. Okay, Marlin's all sketched in. His roads are dirt gravel where Colt's are cement gravel. So there's a little change there. And again, these roads will be altered as they get more stuff put around the farm and make fields and things like that. It's just a roughing in, so to speak. I think I've done enough for them. I was considering about go ahead and purchasing all their equipment. Just let them start with everything that they're wanting to have, but I'll just give them the money and let them do that either as they go or all at once, however they want to do it. But this is the setup for Fancy versus Frugal. The only change that I might consider is I may have Colt, instead of doing his olive oil and cheese, I may go ahead and try to get him to do some fermented grapes and cheese. I want to take a look and see if I can find a mod that looks like it'll work out for me. I am doing grapes on a different playthrough, but it just makes more sense to do that instead of the olive oil. I don't think the olive oil will be bad, but however, it sounds fancier having wine and cheese. So anyway, this is the setup. I hope to bring it to you soon. I wouldn't dare tell you what today is because I don't know how long it's going to take me to work out the episodes, but I do appreciate you coming by and spending some of your time with me here today. I thank you, and I hope you see me in the next one. Have a good day.